G'day guys and welcome back to Casual Rage. Prepare to start the show, R2. This is where the fun begins. Hello everyone, g'day guys and welcome to Casual Rage 162, where we casually rage out about the topics of the week. I hope you're all doing well. We've got a lot to talk about. Obviously I missed last week and I do apologize for that. I'll explain in a second. But we've sort of got everything. So some of the stuff that we'll talk about is probably going to be a little outdated, but I still want to cover some of it because it's obviously Star Wars related and ridiculous in regards to what they actually did. I can't believe some of the stuff. But yeah, we've got a fair bit to go over. Obviously, the Bad Batch released. Man, what do I say? I was just bored. It's just boring. It's so funny. I kind of feel like I've hit like a new low of apathy when it comes to Star Wars. Like I'm still pushing my way through watching it, but it's like just no interest whatsoever. No interest in regards to even wanting to theorize on what could be happening or anything like that. Not even with Disney Star Wars. It's interesting being me watching like the Bad Batch right now. Get home. Because I had, especially with these 3 episodes, I had to watch 2, do my reviews of those and make sure that I could get those out. And then I watched the last one last night. Got home from work last night and I'm like, oh man, got to watch episode 3. I just don't. I just hit like this new low. It's painful. What else have we got? Last week I was going to go through all the trailers from the Super Bowl. We're not going to do that, just the ones that are interesting. So we'll watch a couple of those. And obviously we've got Seal of the Week. What else was there? XMen. We'll talk a little bit about that too. Oh, that's going to be interesting. I'll tell you what, that's going to be very interesting, seeing what happens with the X-Men 97 series. All right, let's quickly say hello to the chat, and then we'll get into this. We've got Open Airlock Policy. How you doing, Tim? Good to see you. Tyron Azilla. We had Lethal for 5 says we actually legit had the best Star Wars news in years, and it didn't even make it didn't even make the title. Jesus, adding words in. What are you talking about, Lethal? Thanks for the $5, but what are you talking about? What didn't I put in the title? Bad Batch is the big thing now. We've got Bad Batch, Mandalorian, Star Wars news. That covers everything, doesn't it? And then X-Men 97. How's it going? Oh, well, how's it going, everyone? Am I going to get that? Man, I really don't have time for games at the moment, Soulshade. Like, I know that Flash wants to play Helldivers too. So I'm looking at getting that and maybe playing with him a couple of times. We'll see. I doubt it, to be honest. If I do, I'll let you know. Let's see. I'm also 25 chapters into Darth Bane book 1. Man, that book is the best one out of all of them. Enjoy that. The chapter where Bane kills the family to gain his powers back was crazy. Yeah, I love the one of my favorite parts in that book is when he finds who's the first holocron that he finds. It's not Revan's, is it? I can't remember now. Anyway, the very first holocron that he finds, and that cackle, that laugh that I love that book. It's fucking great. If you haven't read it, guys, highly recommended. And now that I've done that, Greg will never read it. This stream is going to be full throttle. We'll see. Man, I'm so bored with Star Wars. Like, the Bad Batch. Oh, we'll get into it. But like, I don't even know what to say anymore. We'll go through it and we'll break it down. But it's so funny seeing the people that are like now just noticing that there's connections to the sequel trilogy. We'll talk about that too. Pro Jack fan, how you doing? Good to see you. Keely Chow, I see you. LTD3, hail. Nuisance Bird. Dr. Coffin Nails, how you doing? Fear of FEMA. Mike Hill, the great Mike Hill. How you doing? Quinton, good to see you. Alex, what up, Rhino? So let me tell you what happened last week really quickly. So I think the message that I wrote probably misled a little bit because I said I got a major emergency. Now, it was a major emergency. Basically, my hot water system shit itself. Like, big time shit itself. We had this massive storm and because I'm in such a narrow 2-bedroom townhouse, the way the hot water system is set up is a little unusual. So there's solar panels on the roof. That's like an assistant to the gas hot water system that I had under the stairs here. And then there was a booster on the outside of the building on the wall, which I don't know. I don't exactly know how it works. I don't know. But it's split up into 3 sections, whereas normally it would only be 2. You'd have the solar panels on the roof and the hot water system and the booster would be right next to each other. But I don't have room for that. So then we had this storm. The solar panels on my roof, I went up there with the plumber and they'd completely broken off the bracket that they were on. They've smashed at the bottom of the roof sort of thing. And it is a flat roof, but obviously the bracket that they're on is like a triangle. So they've slid down, smashed on the side. They're broken. One of the pipes had burst and that was spraying like a sprinkler, spraying water out for 3 days, nonstop flow of water. My water bill is like, the guy said you can send this work to the water company and they should subsidize it and take it to, like, you know, remove it, go back to the averages. So I'm working all of that out. That's crazy. But that's not the craziest thing. So I go up there, see all of that. It's horrible. I come down. The guy's like, man, this is worse than I thought it was going to be. So what they had to do was decommission the solar panels on the roof and disconnect everything going to those solar panels, like the water and everything. Disconnect the hot water system that was under the stairs, remove that unit, and remove the booster, basically put in a new hot water system. But the new hot water system is like an instant hot water system. It's literally just a box on the wall outside. Basically, in a nutshell, $5,500 later, and that's what I was quoted. That was what I was up for. So I found that out the morning of the stream that I'm supposed to do, 7 o'clock in the morning. And the guy said that they were going to start work around 12. Now, I usually start the stream around 12:30. I was already pissed off at the fact that I had to spend this much money getting a whole new hot water system. I had to do it through a loan, basically a payoff system, but they set it up so that you're basically loaning the money, they get paid, and you're just paying it off. But I had to pay a $600 deposit. So that was my morning. Then obviously I jumped on the side scroller stream for a little bit, and then they basically sort of started work. The crazy thing was that it was supposed to be done that day. The new unit that they bought didn't fit in the hole where the booster was. So they needed new brackets and everything so they could actually mount it on the wall. So I went a whole night without hot water. They came the next day and finished it. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. So yeah, I wasn't really in the mood for streaming after that sort of news, but at the same time, they pretty much started work just as I'm streaming. So it would have made a lot of noise. They're in and out. So yeah, I wasn't really able to do it. So that was my major emergency. It wasn't health related or anything like that. And thank you for everyone's support in, writing back and all of that sort of thing. But I don't want to think about it. It's fucking so annoying. So now I've fucking just got to pay it off, which has now affected my coming to America trip as well. Super annoying. Anyway, go Chiefs. Oh, man, I didn't want the Chiefs to win. The Chiefs, I hated watching that Super Bowl. For the last at least 5 to 10 years, I've taken a day off work to watch the Super Bowl. And this was the worst one. And it was all because it all revolved around Taylor Swift, and I fucking hate it. Now she's in Australia doing a tour, and that's all I'm fucking hearing. Taylor fucking Swift. Mike Hill for 5. Thank you, Mike. Oh, nearly died. How can you say episode 3 was boring? It had Palpatine, LOL. We'll get into that. I actually mentioned that on my review. And obviously the reviews aren't getting all that many views because I'm not consistent enough on YouTube. So I get it. But yeah, we'll get to it. I don't really have a problem with Palpatine being in an episode. You would assume that somewhere along the line you're going to see him. But to have him come in that quickly, maybe midway through the season, you're going to see him again. I don't know. It does seem like nostalgia, but this is my bigger problem with it is the usage of Mount Tantus and things like that. The things that they take from the EU and repurpose it because they're not using it the way that it was supposed to be used. So, or the way it was written originally. Who else we got here? We got Christian in the chat. How you doing? I heard Snoke was in it. There's going to be some big speculation, some big theories going around on who or what is actually going on in this facility. Christopher Barker, how you doing? Seal clap for the episode 3-episode premiere, Rhino. There you go. A seal clap for it. Who else we got? We got OG Star Wars. How you doing, Alora? Good to see you. Man, we got to catch up. It's been a fucking long time since we've talked. Please hit the like button. Yes, please do hit that like button. That scene was great, especially in the audiobook. Yeah. Yep. I will say, sitting there and reading a book I'd rather an audiobook any day of the week. The way that they're produced and put together with music, sound effects, all of that sort of thing makes it even better. I've even just like some nights, like going to bed, put the audiobook on and just lay there, close my eyes, and you can just allow your imagination to go wild with it based on what you're hearing. It's fucking great. Love the audiobooks. Darth Revens. It was Revens holocron that he found first. I thought it was. He gets Undeado's holocron. And isn't there another one? Anyway, you'll get to it. Corey's here. How you doing, Corey? Sorry, I'm really, really behind in the chat. I'll just sort of try and catch up here a little bit. Because I told my fucking story. Is Omega key to the rise of Skywalker? Shitwalker? Yeah. Yeah, she is. Big time. Big time. She is the key. And you got to think that this is the thing with that whole thing is Palpatine was successful. He was successful. So Omega needs to survive and basically be experimented on, torn apart, whatever the case may be, to be able to give Palpatine the future that we've already seen. This is the thing that also makes it so lame, is you're watching stuff that isn't necessary to be seen. The reason why for Disney it's necessary for people to see it is so that it makes people look at what happened in The Rise of Skywalker differently, or what happened in the entire sequel trilogy differently. Because you got to think Snoke is a part of that whole, like they're trying to sew it back together. That's what's happening. They're trying to sew this story back together. But that results in you already know to some extent what is going to happen. Thanks, Christopher. Mr. Bantham's here. Let's see. Soul Assassin, I see you. And I'm pretty much caught up. I just scrolled right down. Disney Seal Theory is loving it. Really? This is like, if he has, I haven't watched any of, I know that he did a watch party for it, but I didn't watch any of it. The clip that I'm going to show you tells you everything that you need to know. Now, look, it might just be him wanting to be optimistic and hoping that there's a plan in place, hoping that Dave Filoni, his Lord and Savior, can save this. The problem is that they're not trying to save it. They're just trying to make it make sense. What you don't like, they're trying to make sense. Make sense? Good enough. Oh, Rhino, fuck Disney for ending movie club. Where's my fuck off Disney clip? I want it. All right.
They came bounding over.
Fuck off, Disney, you fucking cunt! There you go. Fuck off, Disney, you fucking cunts. Fucking dogs. That I like Theory, but he needs to stop giving Disney any fucking chances. Yeah. Like, the reason why I don't like Theory and sort of stopped watching him and unsubscribed and all that sort of thing was basically because what happened with the sequel trilogy, first of all, that was the big thing. But, you know, his tune has changed on the sequel trilogy, but then moving forward, his it's almost like delusion that Filoni is like being loyal to George Lucas and wants to continue George's, and oh, this is the most George Star Wars I've seen in a long time. Like things like that. Just what are you talking about? Ask the questions that are supposed to be asked. It's like I saw a little clip on Instagram of his, and he was talking about how, it must have been from one of his videos, but he was talking about how they've been obviously experimenting on the clones, and because of the metachlorian blood that they're putting into their blood, Crosshair's like now got the shakes and everything. I don't know whether or not that's from the experimenting or not. That's just obviously him being Star Wars theory. But, maybe they're just breaking him and he's losing his edge. Maybe it's got nothing to do with the blood. And then the question comes, like, have they succeeded in making Crosshair Force sensitive? It's like, I don't care about that stuff anymore. Like, I just don't care, because whether or not he is or isn't doesn't now change the fact that they're trying to sew this story together. And they're trying to sew it together with like no thread. They're just putting the needle through the two holes, the gap, and pulling it out the other end, and there's no thread on the end of it, and it's just opening back up again. It's just going through the same hole constantly. But the thing is, for me, is it also comes across as like, it's with the fans that watch him, his fans, he's got a vast mixture of people that love the sequel trilogies and people that don't, because he sits on the fence and doesn't really go either way. He might lean off the fence this way a bit, and then it's like, oh, this is boring, this is shit. But then it course corrects by giving like the episode a 6 or a 7 or an 8 out of 10, even though throughout the episode he says that it's shit. And it's probably the same thing that let me just show you. Fuck it. There was a certain point of the stream where I had it for, where is it now? No, where is it? Oh, there it is. Fuck. Man, I got that many tabs because of last week. Definitely need to get on Theory Show. Look, this is the thing. I'm actually scared of myself being on his stream. I don't want to be disrespectful, and I don't want to be spiteful, and I don't want to come across that way. But sometimes naturally I just end up, hey, look, I'm Raging Rhino. I've got a lot of anger in me, despite the fact that I'm not always an angry person. But I've got a lot of anger in me. So it comes out, especially when it comes to Star Wars. So I wouldn't know, like, I'd have to really, because I want to have a conversation with him, but I'll get heated in the conversation with his little justifications and his little shit out of nowhere. I'd almost have to start by saying, I don't want any of your reasoning to come from your headcanon. Like, if you've got something that you can show me, something that you can tell me that, a person that's made it said about this scene or about this moment that actually explains it, then cool. But I don't want your headcanon. Like, if I was to ask him, like, how do tracking fobs work? And I know people are probably rolling their eyes in the chat right now. But if I was to ask him how do tracking fobs work, and, I've asked a few people how they work, and they do use headcanon. They have to fill the gaps with headcanon. So I'd like to ask him, like, what do you think it is? Like, let him use his headcanon, but then go, okay, but what actually is it? Like, has Dave Filoni actually come out and said how it works? Has Jon Favreau come out and actually said how it works? No. So you can't explain it because they haven't explained it. The only way that you can explain it or justify it is by using headcanon. Melissa Lord for $5 says, "Hey Rono, sorry about your water heater solar panels. We have those here in Florida, and big storm can damage them. Yeah, pretty bad. Yes. So here's $5. Thank you so much, Melissa. I appreciate the support there. Yeah, but there's even still the plumbers that came and fixed the hot water. When he looked at it, he's like, and the way he was talking, he was on the phone, and I was up here, and I could hear him talking and hearing what he was saying. So I went downstairs and I actually asked him. I said, "Sorry, like I heard what you were sort of saying on the phone there. Like, what's the situation?" He goes, "Man, the way that this is set up shouldn't even passed through the inspection phase of when the house was being built." Like he even said to me, he goes, "How old's the house?" And I bought it 7 years ago, roughly, right? So it's a 7-year-old house. And the hot water system that's under the stairs is a 13-year-old unit. Now, this was built through like Metricon. It was like a big, like they're a big building company, and they build like, so they've got like warehouses of stock. Now, they could have ended up having these old hot water systems that they bought, massive amounts in bulk 13 years ago, and they've still had them there. It would have been a new unit when it was put in, but it was 13 years old, and the house is only 7 years old. But he goes, the way it was set up, like, yeah, just he's so surprised that it got past the inspection phase of the build. Anyway, Breezy Comics and Collectibles for $1.99. But Rhino, George Lucas trained Filoni himself. Laugh my ass off. What? Yeah. Yeah, that's Filoni has dubbed himself that. And maybe the fans some of the fans, his fans, started it, but like once that sort of built some momentum, he dubbed himself that. He has called himself that. Not in so many words, but yeah. Why didn't you review Solo Leveling Hero? I don't know. Hold on a second. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Anyway, let me share this with you really quickly. So I do find this funny because this is hard for me, because the person that's actually tweeting this, like they're they, them, pronouns, they're trans. They're basically taking shots at Star Wars Theory in this clip, right? Probably from the opposite direction of where I would be taking shots. Sorry. I feel this is what they say. I feel a great disturbance in the chats. Suddenly, thousands of chuds whined in disappointment, and then there was silence. I think something wonderful has happened, right? And laughing emojis. So think about that statement when you listen to this. So this is the bit where Palpatine, this is from episode 3. This is the bit where Palpatine walks into the, the vault, and basically see, like, that they open up the chamber of where the clones are that they're creating. And this was Star Wars Theory's response to it.
Ah, fuck, man. It's connecting into the sequels.
Oh, shit. I'm going to mute, sorry. Oh my God. I gotta stop smoking. That's so fucking funny. Oh, that's so funny. Like, it's like, and even in my reviews, if you've watched them, like I've said that now that we're getting closer, like this is the season finale of this. They've opened up the cloning in season 2. Well, basically they are clones. So it's you got to think about that. It's so funny. Look, Steph's in the chat. She just writes, "This is so chill." Oh, now I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, so in my videos, I said that there was going to be like these more major connections. Now they're going to sort of start pulling the thread together. This is the best analogy that I'm coming up with here with the sewing. They're pulling the threads together and they're trying to close it. Problem is the thread's going to snap on its way through, and it's all going to come spilling out. So yeah, this person's like a big supporter of obviously the sequels and stuff like that. Loves the Disney era of crap. But Star Wars Theory, and I'm curious to know what he gave this episode now. Out of 10. Maybe we could, oh man, that's a lot of fucking watch party to go through.
Ah, fuck, man. It's connecting into the sequels.
The thing that also is so funny about it is like he's probably getting to the point. He's been streaming with Mauler and Ryan. I haven't been watching those streams. I haven't, like, they do it, so it's such a weird time for me. But yeah, like he's been doing these streams with them. No doubt, Ryan especially, but even Mauler as well, like getting in his head, like Filoni and all of this kind of stuff. And now that like this scene happens, and he has that reaction, like all of those little things that these guys have been saying in the last few weeks that they've been doing these streams is now starting to like hit home, and he's starting to realize like Star Wars isn't Star Wars anymore. This isn't George's Star Wars, and it never was. That's the big thing. It never was. And it's like, what does he do with his channel? You know, it's going to come to a point where you can no longer, like, these people can no longer justify why certain things are the way they are. Certain things happen the way they happen. And it's like I said in my episode 3 video, it's so predictable. This series is so predictable. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that the blood thing, right? I wouldn't have never have guessed that that's how they were doing it or what they were doing. But once you know that piece of information and you see what happens as the episode goes on, you start to realize, like, okay, exactly what I said before. Omega has to survive. She has to be experimented on in the end. Now, I don't know how they're going to do the Mandalorian. Oh, but hang on. Mandalorian takes place. Oh, hang on. Because they mentioned Project Necromancer. I got to think for a second. Project Necromancer. Okay, so the stuff that Moff Gideon's doing in The Mandalorian is a continuation of this project. Is it? It has to be. It has to be. Yeah, and that would make sense. Filoni is the one that's been put completely in charge of making the sequels make sense. So through both the things that he's like got his fingers in and deep in, that's gross. Because the reason why it's gross is because he would be fingering an asshole, not a pussy. Even though he is a pussy. Fuck, now I'm just rambling. It's got to be like that. It's got to be like that. So this is the start of Project Necromancer. Does anybody in the chat remember what series it was that we heard Hux, the older Hux's dad, mention Project Necromancer? Is that in Andor? No, it's not. Is it? Oh man, I want to just listen to this again.
Ah, fuck, man. It's connecting into the sequels.
Mando season 3. Okay, Mando season 3. It's connecting to the sequels. That's right. If you didn't pick up on all the signs prior to this, I feel sorry for you. So yeah, Mando season 3. Okay. That makes sense. Project Necromancer. What do I say? Let me get this out of the way really quickly because this is obviously really late on this. So not last week, but the week before, we talked about this. The fact that Empire Magazine is teasing that they are dropping Star Wars news tomorrow, right? So we talked about that 2 weeks ago on stream. And we were speculating like, oh, like picture of Obi-Wan, the hello there, all of that sort of thing. Are we getting an announcement of an Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2 or, you know, what's happening? No, it wasn't any of that. It was purely just the 25th anniversary of the prequels. That was it. That was the announcement. Now, I do want to say, like, these posters, or these covers, whatever you want to call them, they do look pretty good. But they look good because this is like George's Star Wars, right? There's no sequel trilogy characters, none of that. It's all just prequel stuff. They look good. They do. Right? But again, I did think that's... have I talked about Battlefront yet? Well, I got a super chat about it earlier, and I don't know whether or not I'm actually going to get it. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Especially with like everything that I've got going on. Like I'm really just because like through YouTube and stuff like that, yeah, look, I'm making a little bit of revenue, nothing major. I need to sell some fucking cars right now. That's what I need to be concentrating on. So that's what I've been doing, especially after the news I had last week. So no, I haven't really talked about it all that much. Yeah, it's cool. But like you're talking about the full collection thing that they're released. Yeah. Posters are way better than their movies. All right, hold on a second. Let me Riff for $10. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that. Here's some extra love, Rhino, to sort of make up for the live streams I've missed. Thank you very much, Riff. Appreciate that. You can always come back and rewatch them. But I know that like there are some streams where like after they're over, I can go back and rewatch. But sometimes when like people are streaming and you're watching the replay, you know, because you can't chat or because you can't add anything into the chat to add to the conversation, it can sometimes get a little boring. So, and that's another thing too, is I do appreciate all the people that do come back and watch my stream because I know that there's a few of you out there that almost religiously, if not religiously, come back and watch these streams. So I appreciate you guys massively. But thank you very much, Riff. I appreciate that. All right, let's see. Mike Hill for 5 says, I checked and Theory said if the sequels didn't exist, he would have given it a 10, but he gave it a 5. That, oh my God. So because it connects, he gives it 5 less points. He gave it an average. But if the sequels didn't exist, he would have given it a 10. At least he's been. Well, one thing that I will say is, like, I'm glad that he's seen the light with the sequel trilogy. Like, there's nothing. I don't think that there's anything out there that he could actually justify anymore when it comes to that. But yeah, I don't even know what number rating I would give the episodes. Because, like, they're not like super horrible. There's nothing in them that's like major, like that pissed me off or whatever, other than the fact that they're using Mount Tantus. I don't even fucking know, man. You give episode 1 a 3. I was just bored. Episode 2, that was worse, I reckon. That's a 2. And then episode 3 is like a 3 as well. I don't like doing number ratings because I don't know what, and that's the other thing too, is I don't know what's good and what's bad anymore, because people inflate those numbers, or, you know, you got the same person saying on like every different series that comes out, oh, this is a 9, this is a 9. Next series comes out, this is a 9, this is a 9. Like, okay, so it's all just that good, all of it. Okay. And then I saw this and I thought this was kind of funny. All right, listen, Lucasfilm, I'm just some guy, but you should really push marketing of The Acolyte at the Phantom Menace theatrical release. Phantom Menace theatrical release. I'm talking sneak peek, first few minutes, behind the scenes featurettes in the theater. Sell it as a prequel to the prequel. Now, that's kind of a smart idea. It's not something that I think that they're going to do, but that's a smart idea in regards to that. I like, as much as I like the prequels, I don't think I'd even go back in theaters to watch those. I mean, I got them. I've watched them that many times. It'd be nice. If Star Wars was in a good place, then these are probably some of the things that I would go and do. But it's not. And I'm not giving money, if I can help it, to any of these fucking companies that are destroying our entertainment. But then also too, we got a release date for The Acolyte. So I don't know, it's through Collider. So Collider was the source for this. The Acolyte releases June 5th on Disney Plus. That's actually pretty crazy. So we've had, how many episodes of The Bad Batch is there? There's, I think it was 18, but then there's 2 double headers and the 3. Is that so? A month after The Bad Batch, says Mike Hill. That's what I wanted to basically work out, because we're going to go for ages. It goes into May, I'm pretty sure. And then June. Yeah, okay. So it's a month. That's cool. At least there's some more content that I can put out. And I'm expecting the Acolyte to be such a trash fire. It's going to be one of those things that just brutally shows where Star Wars is at. Because there's going to be a lot of people that don't tune into it. You know, some people might tune into the first couple of episodes just to actually see how bad it is. You're not going to have, you know... I wonder whether or not Gary's going to watch something like this. Like, he's so tapped out of Star Wars. Like, I think he watched things like Obi-Wan Kenobi and stuff like that, didn't he? Did he watch Ahsoka? Maybe he is watching them just to keep up with them so that he can have the conversations with people. It's going to be bad. The Acolyte is going to be bad. Yeah, the sizzle reel is happening. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, so that's some news on the Acolyte. But I did find it funny that was the announcement that they came up with. Like, they teased this whole thing. A lot of speculation out there in regards to what it meant or what the announcement was going to be. And it turned out to basically be a big nothing burger. Big nothing burger. So happy I can get rid of those tabs. Because the tabs become when you've got so many up there, they become so small. I don't need to talk about that. Who cares about that? It was just this. This was something that I had up for last week, and I can't even remember my point from it because I didn't even really go into the article. But this is from CBR. It says, the Star Wars sequel trilogy introduced Rey Skywalker to fans all over the world, and she deserves another chance to shine on the big screen. Okay. Does she really deserve it? Maybe she does deserve it, but the people that are making it don't deserve a second chance. Especially with the stuff that we've got coming. You're just going to destroy Daisy Ridley's career even more, Lucasfilm. Not only that, but you're basically typecasting her into a fandom that's diminishing. Because she plays other roles, but nobody's really seen them. So you're basically just almost inserting her into a typecast where that's it. That's all she's ever going to be known for. That's all she's ever going to do. And the only people that are actually enjoying it or liking it is a very, very small minority of actual fans. God, I hate using that word for them. And I feel like me saying something like that is like their reaction to that would be, see, you got a misogynistic white straight male that just loves telling us who aren't fans. Gatekeeping us out. Yeah, well, you deserve to be gatekeeped out. You make Star Wars like horrible. All you want to do is ship fucking characters and stuff. That's fine. Go over there. But don't fucking try and insert that bullshit into the entirety of the fandom. So fucking stupid. I hate that shit. Anyway, let's talk about some of the stuff that came out of this article, or this 25th anniversary thing from Empire Magazine. So these are just some of the comments from Ian McDermott. Let me blow this up a little bit so you guys can see it a bit better. Ian McDermott defends Palpatine's return in The Rise of Skywalker. He always had a plan B, he tells Empire. Every single evil act in all of Star Wars is down to that character, he says. That's strangely satisfying. Why do I feel like, he's being paid to say that there was always a plan B? Like when you go out there, Ian, when you're talking to these journalists, you got to make sure that Palpatine always had this plan. I can guarantee you, we can go back and we can actually find it where he actually talks about when he got the phone call, right? And he thought like the character was dead. He's been paid out. He's been bought out to say this shit. He knows that there was never a plan B. He knows it. Palpatine was so sadistic and everything that he, the only reason why he didn't succeed was because he never thought that Vader would betray him like that. That was his downfall. He missed Anakin's compassion. He thought with how long he had Vader under his leash, he had control over him. It sunk in enough. The fact that Vader brought Luke to Palpatine in the first place showed how much Anakin's compassion had gone. It was only when Luke was about to be killed, Luke defeated Vader, but it was only at that point Palpatine had it won. Even in the Thrawn trilogy, man, imagine how different that fight would have been if Thrawn was in control of it. There's a moment in those books where that gets sort of mentioned. And yeah, imagine. The rebellion would be no more. They would be gone. Palpatine played with his food. And his food bit back. But there was never a plan B. Never. It might make sense that he would have had a plan B, but as far from even Ian McDermott himself has said that he thought that the character was dead. Why would he come back? But then it gets even better. Ian McDermott on Palpatine's return in The Rise of Skywalker. A lot of people said it was ridiculous. I think George Lucas, thought he'd killed me too. But J.J. Abrams thought it would be a good idea. I wasn't going to argue with him. See, this is the thing. Like, they know how George felt about it. I think George thought he'd killed me too, but JJ had a different idea. But then it gets even better. Palpatine actor confirms the Emperor has sex. Imagine it fucking that ballsack. He does have sex. It's a horrible idea to think of Palpatine having sex in any shape or form. No shit. But perhaps he didn't. Maybe it's all to do with midichlorians. See, this is what tells me that they've given him things to talk about. Because now we've got the M-count stuff in the Bad Batch. He's involved in that anyway. Midichlorians and doesn't ask me about and don't ask me what those are. This is the thing. He has no idea what he's talking about, but these are the key words that, make sure you mention this. Make sure you mention that Palpatine had a plan B. If he wanted to, could have sex, but perhaps maybe it doesn't have to do with him having sex. Maybe it's got something to do with midi-chlorian count. Like, all of these things. The J.J. Abrams, I'm sure George thought that he killed my character off, but, J.J. had different ideas. It's all like, again, like I said, they're pulling the thread together. They've sewed it up, and now they're just tightening that thread, trying to. Sorry, it ain't going to work on me, Lucasfilm. It ain't going to work on me. And then we had Samuel L. Jackson. Wants a Disney Plus Star Wars show of Mace Windu. He quotes, "He's not dead." He's not dead. Jackson tells Empire, and when asked what he'd want to do in a Windu series, everything yes. Honestly, guys, if they bring back Mace Windu after Order 66, they've pretty much now gone. I mean, they're already doing it with like Ventress and stuff like that, and Maul. But like that means that that would mean that they've pretty much nearly destroyed every single character. Like, not just the main characters and their stories, but like the supporting actors, the supporting cast. Like, I mean, look, you want to tell a story, Mace Windu, before Order 66, maybe even before this whole thing, maybe they've even done that. They did that in the Tales of the Jedi. I was going to say, like, how he makes his way to the council, but, like, they've done that. And that was done poorly. Leave Mace Windu alone. If he survives Order 66, I'd be shocked. He's the one guy that beat Palpatine. The only reason why he didn't win in the end was because he wasn't even looking for Anakin's shatter point. He was too concentrated on Palpatine. Didn't see it coming at all. Had no idea how much Palpatine had manipulated Anakin, and wasn't even concentrating on that point. But like, to be hit with the unlimited power of Palpatine, the lightning that he hits him with, thrown out the window. He was dead before he hit the ground. That's a good question, Alpha. If Windu survives Order 66, why is he doing absolutely nothing at all, even till the OT? 100%. He just disappears, and this is the problem with bringing like characters in. Like, this is one of the issues with Ahsoka, is like where she sits in all the different timelines, and she's not even mentioned in any of the movies or anything, especially Revenge of the Sith, where she's got half of the 501st, half of fucking Anakin's legion of soldiers. Doesn't even get mentioned. They tried to sew it in with the Clone Wars, right? Season 7. Where just before Anakin walks in the room, and has a conversation with Mace Windu, Ahsoka was like communicating with them, telling them what's going on. And it's also that's also there so people can go, when they're watching Revenge of the Sith, these people that do like this garbage, oh, he just missed her. If he had been in there a second earlier, he would have seen Ahsoka. And that's it on basically the Empire magazine front. So again, I did find it funny that they basically hyped up this massive announcement, and then that was the announcement that we got. And then with some of the things that were actually being asked and some of the things that were actually being said in that were just ridiculous. Palpatine having sex. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's the midichlorians. Interesting. All right, I need to get myself a new drink. Let's see here. Oh, we might play this because it's sort of appropriate, I guess, to an extent. I'll be right back.
You'd better put a chick in it. And make it fucking gay as fuck.
Going somewhere?
Put her on a path of her own choosing, so that no matter which direction she takes, we'll always be one step ahead of her.
What?
That is so lame.
There you go. Mr. Bantham asks, could they use the World Between Worlds for Mace Windu? Yes, but it would have to be before Palpatine hits him with lightning. Or during. Couldn't be after. It couldn't really actually be after the moment he says unlimited power. Because that, as soon as he does that and he like ramps that fucking lightning up in that moment, that kills him. Yeah. I see all you guys in the chat going, somehow Palpatine got laid. Yeah. So yes, they could use it, but it would have to be very, very precise, the timing and who does it. And that's the thing, though, with the World Between Worlds and even creating that as a thing. Like, I hate the World Between Worlds, man. Hate it. Hate it. I said earlier, I've got to quit smoking. What do? Yeah. Let me just check something over here real quick. Oh, we're good. Yep. Thank you. Can't stand the fucking World Between Worlds. Screw you, Rebels and Ahsoka and Filoni. Amen. Amen. All right, let's talk a little bit more about the Bad Batch. Now, this was something that I was going to share last week, but we kind of missed it. But basically, I'm just showing you this because it's the people that are getting access are the ones that are actually saying that it's any good or trying to justify why anything actually makes any sense. Star Wars Explained. We got to watch the first half of The Bad Batch Season 3. Can't go into a ton of details now, but it's fast-paced. Really? Even the first 3 episodes weren't fast-paced at all. Anyway, full of great action and emotional character moments. If you like the first 2 seasons, I can't imagine you'd be disappointed. Shill. I mean, we got to just say that, right? But I didn't like the first 2 seasons. So what's that? Where does that put me? Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. And then there was also Star Wars Holocron. There you go. I didn't even realize that they have like 204,000 followers on Twitter. There you go. The Bad Batch Season 3, episodes 1 to 8 are phenomenal. So they got to watch it as well. Look, I mean, these people sometimes make it to Seal of the Week. They sometimes get like that they're always fucking just shilling for this shit. Finding ways to justify, use headcanon, all of that sort of shit. No wonder why. You know, being that they got to watch these episodes, what does that do for them in regards to being able to make videos as well? Monetize this stuff. Because they sort of, the reason why I'm bringing that up is because they sometimes sit there and justify and say, look, we only got, early access to it. We got a big following, all of that sort of thing. We didn't get any money to watch it. We didn't, any of that sort of thing. Bullshit. You're making money from the videos that you're actually able to sit there and make for the 2 weeks before it gets released. And then there was that, which I was just going to obviously bring up the episode lengths, which doesn't really matter anymore. And then there was the Star Wars theory thing. We're going to listen to it again, though.
Ah, fuck, man.
All is
Connecting
mine.
to the sequels.
Connecting to the sequels. No shit, Sherlock. No fucking shit. So now that we've seen the shills and, they're telling us that they're basically shills, let's talk about the episodes. Let me get rid of these tabs real quick. We're going to leave that one up. I might actually fucking make that a clip for the stream. Oh, man. It's connected to the sequels. We use that. I'm going to actually use that in my reviews now. I've just thought of it. In my actual reviews, anytime that there's a connection that I see, because there's going to be a lot of people that look over it. Like when Canto Bight was mentioned I think that was in Andor. Because fucking she tells her husband, Mon Mothma tells her husband to go to Canto Bight to gamble. Like when something like that happens, I'm just going to play that clip. Oh, man. It's connecting to the sequels. That's perfect. I love it. Okay, so I think I can go through this pretty quickly. And I don't know, I know it's a breakdown, but there's really not much to break down when it comes to the Bad Batch. Really, really not much to break down. It's pretty simple. In 3 episodes, basically, the first episode, we see Ahsoka roaming around Mantantis, being given a bit of leeway because of Nala Say, and she's basically got chores that she's supposed to do. They keep destroying Omega's blood, right, that they keep taking because they're taking all the clones' blood and they're mixing it with blood from who? Don't know. But the metachlorian count that's in the blood needs to match. It keeps failing, it keeps failing, it keeps failing, it keeps failing, but they keep discarding Omega's blood. She interacts with Crosshair a fair bit in regards to escape. And, you know, the difference between Crosshair and Omega is that if Crosshair had an opportunity to escape and he had to do it without taking Omega with him, he'd do it. Whereas Omega, she won't escape without Crosshair. No way. No way. So Omega's the key to everything, really. Like almost literally the key to absolutely everything. So that's basically the first episode. There's also a massive time jump in the first episode. So we go from her scratching on her cell wall, like how many days she's been there. And when we first see that, she's been there for 21 days. The next time we see that, like the next morning sort of thing, like the time jump goes that quick. Her hair's grown out a bit and all of that sort of thing. She's now at 150 days. So we've had a big time jump. Then we go into episode 2. Hunter and Wrecker are basically trying to find Omega, obviously. And I don't know. Actually, I might bring this up real quick. Because, excuse me, but I don't know the species. Oh, it's very dark. Maybe it's because the light's behind me. It makes it hard for me to see it. So, this guy gets killed. Oh, I did make the point too that we got another female leader of, you know, a planet, a group of people, whatever. So, again, I don't know what species they are, but they basically go to them. They bring this pike to them. I can't remember exactly what the pike did, but I think that it's completely irrelevant and not important. But this is where they get the information. They basically trade that for information on where Omega could be being held. They end up getting the location to a planet where the facility has been completely overrun and being bombarded from space by the Imperials. So they bomb their own base, basically. But it was all because of the vines, right? They were experimenting on these vines and they came to life and they overrun the base. They run into 3 young clone survivors that survived the research facility. They basically go into the research facility to find a console that they can get information from. They get as much information as they can before they basically get out of there because they're being attacked by a big viney Sarlacc. And then they get out of there because basically one of the, I keep saying basically, fucking, I hate that shit. The 3 clone surviving boys, one of them goes with them to show them, you know, basically get them through this maze of vines and get them to the console. The other 2 end up like, you know, this is our chance to get out of here. I know where their ship is. We can take their ship and get the fuck out. And there's a bit of tension between those 2. They basically go to the ship. By the time they get to the ship, it's like so convenient. By the time they get to the ship, they're now in trouble. So they call for backup just as like you could sort of see one of them, the one that's sort of a bit torn in regards to staying or going. The other one's like, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. And he's sort of torn. And then the call comes through that they need backup. But then they show up basically, they show up in their ship and they tell the 3 boys that they're going to take them to an island, which is the island from season 2 that they were living on for a while, and leave them there to find their own paths. That's why the episode is called Paths Unknown. And that's episode 2. Now, they do get a little bit of information, but it only tells them like a sector or like a system that they've got to go to where the research facility may have gone to. So they're going to drop the boys off at the planet and then go to this system. Episode 3, Shadows of Tantus. Ugh. Episode 3 is we're back to Omega and Crosshair, basically, and it's just a breakout. Palpatine arrives, yes, to look at the progress that the facility is making. They mention the stuff about the midichlorians and how, like, for every one that they're doing at the moment, basically the midichlorian count is dropping from the count of the original host, which is basically a failure. They need to get the midichlorian count at the same point as the host's midichlorian count. I'll bring up the scene that he was watching. Nala is actually the one that helps Omega escape. I got to show you this scene. I mentioned this in my video review, and I don't know how much of this we're going to sort of be able to watch. I'm going to have to pause it a fair few times and sort of talk over the top of it, but I don't think that's going to be too hard, because this scene here, it made me think of like almost two NPCs interacting together. So Omega walks in. She's got to get this tablet off the wall here, which is Nala Say's, tablet, so that can help her escape. So Nala Say's told her to come here because Omega's blood. So Nala Say was doing, let me explain this. Nala Say was doing all of this testing. But as Omega was coming in with the blood samples after she got her own blood taken, Nala Say was destroying Omega's blood every time Omega was coming in there. So for 150 days, Nala Say's been doing this. But now that the Emperor's there, Nala Say's got to be there for the, procession, whatever it is, his arrival. So he sends. Now you got to remember too that this chick here, that's another female clone of Jango Fett. So these two are sisters, but they're clones of Jango. And she's the key, and who knows? Who knows? Anyway, so that gives you a bit of a heads up on what's actually happening here. So watch this. Omega walks in. She looks at the tablet. She knows what she's got to get. We know what she's got to get. She walks over. I got to pause. So that's her blood. She's picking up Omega's blood right now and about to put it into the spinny thing. She's been standing there for a little while right next to her.
Did you need something, Omega?
She's been standing there for ages. And like, then she turns to her and says, "Do you need something, Omega?" Like, to me, it was really jarring. Like, when she saw her in her peripheral vision, when she was picking up the sample, wouldn't she say it like then? I know it's almost like a timing thing, but this is also something that I noticed in the Ahsoka series is the massive pauses, right, in the conversation. So let's play this a little bit more.
Hemlock said there's a guest arriving. Who is it?
It's best not to ask questions. See to your task for the day.
Okay, I'm going to pause it there for a second. So that's the conversation that takes place. It's best not to ask questions, Omega. And we're following Omega's blood around this spinny thing. So once it gets all the way to the top, it'll mix in with the blood, the midichlorian blood. So go do your tasks. She looks over. She looks at the...
Are you feeling well? Forget your assignments and get some rest.
So Omega hasn't moved. She hasn't done anything. She's obviously a little bit weary about, about to grab Nalisay's tablet. And the fact that she's got to get it without her seeing her doing it. And she's standing there, and then that's what she says. And then?
Okay.
Omega, I can handle things here. Go. I'll check on you later.
You just told her to go, forget her tasks, and go and get some rest. And Omega's like, okay. So she walks over to the tablet, and she's like, Omega, I've got this. Like, Omega wasn't there saying that she was going to help or anything like that. It's so jarring. It really was. Like, I don't know. Palpatine arrives. Do we have to play it? I think we do, don't we? I had to play it in my video, so why not? So she's got Nalisay's tablet. She's still able to just walk around the base. She goes to Crosshair. She breaks Crosshair out. I just want to get to, where is it? This bit. So this is inside the vault. We finally get to see some of inside the vault. We haven't seen the actual clones.
As you can see, these specimens are well guarded to ensure they remain viable for testing. However, with more time and additional resources, I am confident that we will have a successful M-count replication.
M-count replication. And it is called Project Necromancer. So he basically gives him all the resources he needs. As that's all happening, we're following the blood around. It just keeps ticking over as this episode's going on. And Omega's basically got to get out of there because they've finally got one of her vials of blood in this machine. And Nalisay's told her to get out. They set off an alarm. Where is it? There's the blood. There's the blood. It finally got mixed. And there's no reduction of the M count in Omega's blood. She is the key. So they're after her, right? The fighters are basically going after them because they were able to successfully get a shuttle to get out of there. And because of the M count, he calls off the fighters. They get away, and that's the end of the episode. But they now know that Omega is the key. So this is the thing that I was also thinking too, right? So let me take this down. We don't need this up anymore. So you got to think, this is after Order 66, but before the OT. All of this is taking place. Omega is the key to a successful M count transfer into whatever these clones are. Whether they're Snokes, whether they're Palpatines, we don't know. We don't know even whose blood they're using. But then jump forward to the cloning stuff that they're doing in The Mandalorian. Grogu's the key, right? Grogu's the key to a successful M count transfer or something like that. You got to think that there's got to be obvious connections between these because they're the same project. Project Necromancer. But yeah, Omega's the key. 3 episodes in, I'm bored shitless. And it's because half the reason why I'm so bored is because I don't give a shit. But even if I was to not give a shit, they could do something that I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Snoke is Omega. Very well could be. It very well could be. But see, like, in my review, when Palpatine walks in, like, and sees the sees the vials, the fucking clones, whatever the fuck you want to call them. This is what I play.
Ah, fuck, man. It's connecting into the sequels.
That's it. Just the where I just want to go back to just from here, this bit.
Ah, fuck, man. It's connecting into the sequels.
Every time. You wait. I'm going to fucking copy that, clip that. It's perfect. It's perfect. Fuck, man. It's connecting to the sequels. Maybe what I should do is I should just... Oh, man, that'd take a lot because I can't remember half the things. I just had a video idea. Turn that into a meme video. It's the idea that I've had is basically that. It's going back through everything. Mandalorian, every season. Andor, fucking all the animated shows, everything. And wherever there's a connection to the sequels, just play that clip and then play this clip. And then play the next one. And then play this clip. That'd take so much work because, again, I can't remember all the connections. Like, I'd even go back and get that one from Andor where Mon Mothma mentions Canto Bight. Maybe you guys can help me. I don't know, because I don't know how many of you guys have actually watched half of these shows. How do I do this? Hey, Becky. How do I do this? What we could do is if anyone out there knows of in any of the series that they've come out with or anything, where there's a statement or something that's done or made that connects to the sequels, and send that to me and remind me. If it's like, if it's in like Mando season 2, episode 3, if you know that much, that would be great to tell me that. But then also just tell me like which part, or even a timestamp or something like that, and I'll try and put this video together. But that would be actually really good. Mr. Grant Gregory for 19-month member chat. Thank you. That's a long time. Recognize you by the fearsome sharpness. Fearsome sharpness of your sword. I realize you by your face that hastefully, is that right? Denies the land from the sacred bones. What is this, dude? Yep, just made Rhino Rad, the Greek national anthem. You're welcome. Well, thanks. That's why I had no idea what the fuck it was, because I'm not fucking Greek. Thanks, dude. Yeah, it was supposed to be Reed, but I was just saying like Rad because of him. I knew what he was doing. Oh, anyway, what was I saying? Video idea. You're asking us to watch? Yes, I am. That's just cruel. No. It's not necessarily to go back and watch it. Like if I'm going to do that, then I'll just do that, which would just be painful, but I'd do it. But no, if you can remember any specific connections. That's right. Not Greek. Oh man, think of Rome. You're going back to watch all the old shit for references. Well, yeah, I'm like, this is perfect. Because see, this is the thing though, too, is like somebody like Star Wars Theory is only recognizing this now when there has been multiple connections to the sequels throughout everything that they've done. Anyway, we're gonna do something with that for sure. For sure. All right. Well, I think that's enough of Bad Batch, really. There's not, like, even in my videos, I said there's not really much to talk about. It was boring. It was slow. This is what I don't understand about those shills out there. Oh, it's action-packed. It's non-stop. It's blah, blah, blah. What? 3 episodes in and, like, nothing has really actually sort of happened. We haven't even seen Echo yet. Tech's dead. Is there one that I'm missing? Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, who died, Echo, Crosshair. Too many connections to the sequels, sadly. This is the thing, though, too. Even if like they didn't connect to the sequels, even if there was any chance of them retconning the sequels, what they're retconning it with, it's not much better. Where is Ahsoka? She's not yet here. We'll see, though. There's plenty of episodes there. Plenty of episodes there. Do I care about that? It's so old. Sure, you can find a compilation on YouTube. I don't know. Would somebody go through all the effort of, like, maybe. I'll have a look. Thanks for the $2. All right, let's take a look at this really quickly. This is something that I had up for last week as well. So Pedro Pascal has no intention of leaving The Mandalorian. When asked if he'd been fired from the role, he replied, "No, God, I hope not." Maybe you should have been fired before Gina Carano was fired, at least. Yes, I am. That's still on the cards. Don't worry. And I should have started it way earlier in the year, but now I've got to sort of wait until after the Bad Batch finishes. Then basically I've got a month until Acolyte comes out based on what we just saw before. Useless is a paycheck. Yeah. But yeah, he's not actually doing the role. He's a voice actor for it. We all know that. But yeah, whatever. That was a nothing burger, really. Like I said, I don't know what this was. Pedro Pascal addresses not being on set for The Mandalorian Season 1. I thought he was on set for Mando Season 1. And setting up mannerisms for the character Din Djarin. Let's take a listen.
The way that we did the show, so much of the role was, physically authored by Brendan Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Is he stoned? He fucking sounds stoned, man.
In its first season, and they were like really great in terms of having me come in and establish like physical
Oh my God.
traits of the character, but in the practical.
Am I listening to Joe Biden? Like, listen to him.
Really great in terms of having me come in and establish physical traits of the character, but in the practical shooting of season 1, I wasn't there very often. I was there for season 2, and this was sort of circumstantial as it related to scheduling. And it's very smart of them, really, because if it didn't work out with somebody, like they didn't really have to figure it out until the end of the first season, like who would be playing the part.
Who's under the mask?
Yeah, exactly. I hadn't really thought about it that way until now. But
they're not firing you from the Mandalorian either.
No, I hope not.
Oh, there you go. He needs a haircut. Sounds like he's lagging in real time. Well, there you go. Pedro Pascal. Wasn't on the set of season 1. Was on the set of season 2, of course, because they removed his helmet. Yeah. Whoop-de-doo. Oh, I nearly got rid of the wrong tab there. We're keeping that Star Wars Theory tab until I can copy that fucking little clip. Now, this was something that I was going to talk about last week. This is definitely sort of old news now, but let me just touch on it really quickly. I don't know if we spoke about it the week before last, but I'll bring it up again here anyway, even if I did. Star Wars lead Ewan McGregor makes desperate plea asking fans to write to Disney for a second season of Obi-Wan Kenobi. I say it like you're ruining these legacy characters, but you're also, by coming out and saying these things like that you really want to do a second season or something, I think you're ruining your like nerd cred, geek cred, the credibility amongst fans and things like that. It's the same thing when like Samuel L. Jackson comes out and says that he wants to play Mace Windu again, and says that he's not dead and all of this kind of stuff. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, we don't want that. You want that because maybe it gives you a paycheck, maybe it puts you on the map again, makes you relevant again. I don't know. Whatever that is that you fucking feel like that it's doing, you're doing more damage to the character and more damage to you as an actor than you realize. But Ewan McGregor, like, this is the other thing too that I hate with these things that come out and these things that happen. Like Mark Hamill. I always sort of respected Mark Hamill. Now that he's coming out with his political views, but not just his political views as well. Now his takes on Star Wars and stuff like that. He's sort of done a bit of a 180. He had to correct course, has made me dislike Mark Hamill. Ewan McGregor, another one. You know what made me dislike him? Fucking his little car video that he did about Reva and the racist fans out there. They haven't really done that to Hayden Christensen yet, but I feel like it's coming. I haven't liked some of the things that Hayden has said, like the fact of doing like that episode 5 and, some of his comments in regards to the Ahsoka series and doing that and, doing the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. And I don't know. He hasn't yet come after the fans, though, so to speak. He's been more respectful towards them. Yeah, Mark Hamill actually became Jake Skywalker. Very true. Very true. Go back to Train Spotting, Ewan. Man, I hate the modern, you could say the modern world we live in, with how these people talk and how these people act and how these people like respond to their fans and things like that. It's like if Ewan McGregor had have read most of the comments that were being said about the character of Reva and the story and all of that stuff, you would see the majority of it wasn't actually racist. I have no doubt that there are people out there that did it. Now, some people might have just done it as a troll because, that's the narrative. It wouldn't surprise me if there was some sort of inside job there, especially with the fact that they came out with these statements before it even released. Look out for those racist fucking fans. They're going to come after you. Once we release this, it's on. They were already doing the damage control before we even saw it. And I was even sitting there going, why is fucking Moses Ingram doing these, doing the rounds with Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor, like on the press tour for the Obi-Wan Kenobi show? Even in those press tours, it felt just like an insert. Put this black female in between these two white males. Perfect. She barely spoke. She was barely asked a question. Oh, what was it like? That's probably the main question that she got asked. What was it like working with Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor? Why ask that question? Is it because only people care about Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker in this entire story? If you can even call it a fucking story. Yes, that's exactly why. That was one of the only questions that Moses Ingram got asked on the press tour. So keep asking for this, you guys. Keep asking Disney to destroy more and more and more of your character. I mean, fuck. In the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, they didn't just do damage to Obi-Wan Kenobi. They did damage to Leia. They did damage to Luke. They did damage to the connection between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke. They did damage to Qui-Gon Jinn. They did damage to Vader himself. They did damage to lightsabers. They did damage to fucking the Inquisitors. They did damage to Star Wars. You want to ask for more of that? Go ahead. I'll be here to fucking tell you how fucking bad a job you've done. To the writing room, to the directors, to the actors. Reva's acting, Moses Ingram's acting as Reva wasn't bad because she's black. It was bad because it was badly written. It was badly directed. It was badly acted. Fucking Disparu said it perfectly. Screaming is acting. Because that's all she does, is yell and scream. A user named Retro Blasting tried to blame George for the Kenobi series on the grounds that he made Luke and Leia siblings in the first place. Wow, that's a stretch. That's a fucking stretch. It's the writing room. They didn't have to make Obi-Wan go on this fucking thing. In regards to more characters that they did damage to in this series was actually Bail Organa. You know what's really funny is the less we know, the more sense it's making. The more they want to show us, the more backstory they want to give us to these characters and, you know, what was happening in these time periods and everything like that actually then does more damage. So the less you know, the better you are. Yep. Owen Amberu as well. You're not wrong there. And just like Finn, same thing. So, look, if these actors want to keep asking for these roles and these things, fucking go for it. Go for it. Do it. The more they do it too, though, the more somebody like Star Wars Theory finally goes, oh my God, they've kicked the bucket. The more people out there will start to realize. The more they do with Dave Filoni, the more they'll realize that Dave Filoni isn't the key. Like your Lord and Savior, fucking Star Wars Theory, Dave Filoni made this series that you just commented on the fact that is connected to the sequel trilogy. What do you think they were doing? What do you think that they were actually fucking doing? Honestly. I had this up for last week. I'm not even going to go into it. It's just the Bob Iger video that made the rounds. Look, Disney's fucked, man. Out of like, there's a lot of studios out there that are fucked. A lot of Hollywood is fucked. But if there's one right now that's standing out the most, it's fucking Disney, right? Fucking Disney. So who cares? You've heard multiple people talk about it. There's been videos out there about it. Let's seal of the week stuff. All right, so what we got left, we got seal of the week and we've got trailers. A fair few trailers to watch. And I don't really have a video to watch while we're doing the votes for seal of the week. So maybe we'll do seal of the week and we'll get the nominees out there. And then we'll watch the trailers. We've got the Kong trailer. We've got the Planet of the Apes trailer. We've got the Deadpool trailer. And we've got the X-Men trailer. Disney destroyed themselves. Are you going to go over X-Men? We're going to talk. We're going to watch the trailer, and we are going to talk about the X-Men stuff. I'm thinking about actually doing reviews of X-Men because I'm actually going through and I'm rewatching the original animated series right now. I'm on part 3 of, I think it's in season 2, part 3 of the Dark Phoenix. So they went up to space, and that all happened. Man, it's been so long since I watched the X-Men animated series that it's fucking like there was so much that I forgot. So much that I forgot. The stuff with Morph. So much stuff. Sinister. Anyway. All right, let me just see, because I've got a fair few seals. Jacob's got 3 tweets here that we can pick from, but I think I'm just going to choose. I think I'm just going to choose that one. So hang on, let me just see, make sure that these are. That one's fine. That one's definitely fine. That one's fine, and that one's fine. All right. We'll get rid of those two. Now, I just want to read this. This isn't a nominee. We'll play the clip before we actually do the proper nominees. But I just want. This was one that was going to get in there but didn't. I'm genuinely thrilled for the prequel. I almost said trilogies. The prequel fans who get to experience their favorite Star Wars film on the big screen again and give them the love they deserved 25 years ago. I just hope we can keep that same energy for those of us who love the sequels when the time comes. So, honestly, I actually can't wait for 25 years to go after the sequels and see just empty theaters. They release it in theaters and they're just empty, or they're full of just pronoun people getting angry. So anyway, that was one of the nominees that just didn't make it. Saya. Soggy Saya. All right, here we go. Let's play this. Where is it?
I'm all the Jedi.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, I should probably just check this really quick. So from May, and then says Tech lives. Oh, isn't that sweet? No one's ever really gone. Now that season 3 is here, can we talk about how these two are definitely top 5 Star Wars characters? Omega and Crosshair. Top 5. These are the 2 of the top 5 characters in Star Wars. What do I say? That's your first nominee. That's what I say. Your second nominee doesn't get any better. Does this unit have a soul? Says, as promised, it's finished. Happy Valentine's Day. Pushing my headcanon that Shin has a scar in her shoulder, in the place her cape has a patch. What? In? Oh my god. So when Shin did that spin move, that ridiculous spin move, apparently what's her fucking name? Sabine's fucking saber hit her shoulder. And that's in her head canon. We didn't actually see it, and it didn't actually happen. And she never went, never got her. But this is her head canon inserting this injury that Sabine gave to her, and this is the picture. This is the picture. How sexy is that? How sexy is that? Happy Valentine's Day. Fucking how gay do you have to be? Anyway, that's your nominee number 2. Nominee number 3 comes from QG Jenner. She's had plenty of nominees. She's a she, her, and she's a mum at 35 years old. And what if I said it was possible to love all three trilogies as well as Legends? Hint, it is. Star Wars is amazing. No, it's actually not, because there's no connection between a lot of those stories when you go into the third trilogy. You can't. I mean, you can love them, I guess, as two separate fucking entities, but like you can't sit there and say, "Oh, I love Mara Jade so much that I hope that they bring it over into this canon," and then have appreciation of that when they completely destroy the character. Because they can't bring Mara Jade over, because it won't be Mara Jade. It'll be Mara Jade in name only, but like the way the character was in Legends and then bringing that over into Disney's canon, Disney's story, doesn't work. So that's your third nominee. Jenna with a fucking rough take there. And then we have Jacob. Says, this isn't just my favorite duel in the sequel trilogy, it's my favorite duel in the entire Star Wars saga. Jesus, you gotta have some pretty fucking low standards for this to be your favorite fucking duel in the entire fucking in the entirety of Star Wars. So thematically poetic and impactful. Still gives me goosebumps to this day. There's your fourth nominee, guys. There you have it. Let's put the poll in the chat. Jesus. Seal of the week. No, week is spelled W-E-E-K, not W-E-K-K. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, the poll is live. Get your votes in. So let's just go through it. That's number one. The Omega and Crosshair are two in the top 5 Star Wars characters. You got the shipper for Valentine's Day, making her up her own headcanon bullshit. You've got Jenna saying that it's possible to love everything Star Wars and it all be fucking amazing. And then you've got Jacob saying that this is the best duel in all of Star Wars. Or his favorite duel in all of Star Wars. Still gives him goosebumps, by the way. Still gives him goosebumps. I just want to play it because it's fucking fun.
Fuck, man. It's connecting into the sequels.
Oh, poor dude. Not. All right, here we go. Let's watch some trailers. Let's watch some trailers. Here we go. King Kong trailer. Godzilla. What is it? Godzilla X Kong. The New Empire. Bring this to Star Wars. Call it the New Empire. Here we go.
For centuries, there was harmony.
It looks really good. Like,
The
looks
Titans
wise.
were the guardians of nature. And the great apes became the protectors of humanity. We've discovered a signal. She can feel it. Kong, Godzilla, they can feel it too. Something is coming. Something even they're afraid of. You feel like going for a ride?
Thought you'd never ask. Just try not to swallow your tongue.
What?
Oh my god!
Traveled to the center of the earth.
Is that a mini cone?
Oh my god.
That's not just a signal. That's a call for war. What is that?
Kong can't stop this on his own.
He won't be alone.
I didn't like that. That's really the only part of the trailer I don't like.
The last time those two met up, it was almost the end of Kong.
They don't have to like each other. They just have to work together.
Now I have seen everything.
We've made some minor augmentations.
Oh.
That's cool. Yeah, Godzilla doesn't run. His strides are big enough. Yeah, that was the only part of the trailer I really sort of didn't really like. But other than that, it looks all right. It looks decent. I still got to watch -1, actually. I keep getting told. All right, here we go. We got the Planet of the Apes trailer. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Now, I really do like this series of Planet of the Apes that they did, the one that started with James Franco. Yeah, really good. Really fucking good. All right, let's watch this. Oh, the fucking stingers before the fucking stinger.
Are you familiar with the concept of evolution? In their time, humans were capable of many great things. They could fly like eagles fly.
So my understanding is that this is supposed to take place like years in the future. Caesar died, right? But we talked about this, I think, on Back of the Ute, but it's got to be Caesar's son because it looks so much like Caesar.
They could
you got to
speak
think
across oceans. But now it is our time, and it is my kingdom. We will learn. Apes will learn. I will learn. And I will conquer.
Yeah.
Legend says ape and human lived side by side. Impossible as that may seem.
Why do they hunt her?
She is smarter than most.
The elders did not tell us everything about this world.
Bend for your king.
Apes hunt humans.
That is wrong. Together, you will die. No, together, strong.
To me, that looks really good. I've actually got to go back and rewatch all three. Try and do that before I watch this. Because, man, I do like the Planet of the Apes. I mean, I've got the originals, and the originals are really good. Still hold up. But, yeah, I do really like this. And that looks really fucking good. Really fucking good. All right, let's... Rise and Dawn were hella good. Yeah, no, fucking... Do you reckon the original's still the best, or do you reckon this is quickly becoming, like, best, maybe number 2? Like, where do you rank this in comparison to the original, chat? Mark Wahlberg one was shit. Didn't like that one at all. At all. Dawn was my favorite of the 3 films. But is this better than the original? What do you reckon? "1996 Planet of the Apes." It's my favorite movie of all time. It's a good fucking movie. Original is best always. Well, look, it's kind of like saying, like, you know, a lot of people put Empire before A New Hope, but without A New Hope, you got no Empire, and A New Hope had to be as good as it was for there to be an Empire Strikes Back and a Return of the Jedi sort of thing. So it's kind of like saying, I get that, you know. Original's still the best. Rise is pretty good too. Can't beat it. Yep. Fair enough. This is got to be the second best though, right? Closely followed by this series of Planet of the Apes movies. All right, let's watch the Deadpool trailer. I obviously did a video on it. You can go check that out as well, but we're going to watch it here because we didn't watch it on stream last week, so we're going to watch it again. Here we go. I know it's old news and whatever, but we're still going to go through it. No, we're not, because fucking Twitter. Here we go. Birthday. I can't.
All right, okay. It's been a challenging few years, for sure, but I'm happy. That is because of each and every one of you. I'm the luckiest man alive.
Make a wish, buddy.
Now, I do find it funny because there was some people out there that were like talking about how she's still alive, but she died in episode 2. In episode 2, in Deadpool 2. And it's like he went back in time and, you know, fixed that entire timeline, right? And that's why we're getting the TVA. But there's going to be a lot of people that don't understand the TVA. And, you know, there's still going to be a lot of people out there that still don't know that Disney now own this and it's now going to culminate into the MCU some way, somehow. So I still think that there's going to be a little bit of confusion out there. I still think that this movie's going to do really, really, really well. But anyway.
Wade Wilson? Who's asking?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Is that supposed to be scary? Pegging isn't new for me, friendo, but it is for Disney.
Mr. Wilson, you appear to have soiled yourself while unconscious.
I wasn't unconscious. Who are you? Why am I here?
Walk with me. Wait. You are special. This is your chance to be a hero among heroes.
I smell what you're stepping in, Sensei. Your little cinematic universe is about to change forever. I'm the Messiah. I am Marvel Jesus.
Yeah, please! Oh my fuck! God, I love this part. Wait!
Don't just stand there, you ape. Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much.
July 26th. The more I actually see that, the more it's like, oh, okay. I hope it's good. I hope it's just as gritty and just as gory as some of the other movies. I don't know whether or not Disney can pull it off. I really don't. And what? We're going to get another diamond in the rough? It might be good, but is that going to change the MCU? The MCU is saved. I don't think that this is going to do that. I don't think he is the MCU Messiah. I really don't. But yeah, I think like I said, I think we've talked about that enough. I know I have talked about it on Flashcast, did a video on it. Yeah. And then, of course, we had this. They announced that on March 20, there's going to be a lot. I'm going to have to work something out with this. On March 20, we're getting the release of X-Men 97. Continuation of the X-Men animated series. Now, based on some of the things that we've heard about it, it doesn't excite me. It certainly does not excite me. What they've done to the design of characters like Rogue, we talked about that on Flashcast a fair bit. Then there's obviously Morph and his non-binaryism. So there's a lot there to be worried about. The trailer didn't look horrible. Actually, I'll turn that down again. Let's watch that.
Watch the series finale of X-Men next Saturday morning. Check your local listings.
I'm grateful to have the chance to say goodbye. I am proud of you all, my X-Men.
Fate lies in our hands now. Now.
We have to stay vigilant. The professor entrusted us with his dream.
No matter how dark it is, we
were talking about that on Flashcast too. Like, they bury Charles, but he's not dead. Well, not that we know of. He's not dead. He might no longer be on Earth or anything, you know. He might not be around, but he's certainly not dead. Maybe it's just a front because he's not around. I don't know.
in each other.
Oh, that's something I didn't notice before, but the statues of Eric and Charles. Eric just looked at me as I said that.
We get this done by working together as a team.
Jeez, bub. Keep buzzing in my ear.
Storm's hair looks ridiculous. So people are also saying it's not Jean.
To me, my X-Men.
They did.
Magneto.
The last will and testament of Charles Xavier. Everything he built now belongs to me.
That's it. That's probably the most interesting part of it for me. What was I going to say? Yes, they got the original voice actors for a lot of them, but the voice actor that played Jubilee apparently declined because she's not Asian. So, like I said, with that, there's not a lot with the way that it's being promoted and everything. It's not a lot to look forward to. I'm probably going to check it out, and I'll probably watch it, and I will endeavor to do reviews for it the way that I do them. It's just, again, there's a lot, because there'll be that, and I'll be doing Bad Batch then at the same time. I got to get this fucking SG1 thing going, because that's going to take a long time too, like a real long time. But yeah, look, I hate what they did to Rogue, and I mentioned this on Flashcast because Rogue's unique as a character in the fact that she's got this massive amount of sex appeal. She's sexy as hell. Most guys do try and hit on her. Obviously, there's her relationship with Gambit and everything. But the one thing that she can't have is human contact, human interaction in that sense. And that makes her, so much better as a character as well. And to remove basically the curves, the sex appeal, the ass, the tits, the attitude. I mean, who knows whether or not they're going to change her attitude. But to do that to the character just completely, it makes everything null and void. So we'll have to wait and see what they do with the character, but I don't like it so far. You're a glutton of pain, aren't you, Rhino? Well, this is the thing that's so annoying, is that everything that I love in some way, shape, or form is being changed or destroyed. Now, some are being destroyed on a higher scale or a higher level than other things, retroactively changing stuff and making it worse than it was. And that's also too why I'm sitting down and I'm watching the original animated series again, because it's been so long. The last time I remember seeing an episode, I was a kid. We're going back at least 20, 25 years, something like that. So I need to catch up. I need to know again basically the story. I need to rewatch it so that going into this, I've actually got some knowledge and some understanding of either what they're doing right or what they're doing wrong. But it is annoying. It's fucking annoying that we've even got to go through this. I mean, you guys out there, you're fans of this stuff as well. Do you appreciate what's being done to these characters, to these IPs, to these franchises? How do you guys feel about the Fantastic Four cast announcement? It can't just be me. How do you guys feel about everything that's happening with Star Wars? How do you guys feel about whatever it is that you love? Doctor Who, fucking Star Trek. Like even Ghostbusters, man. Yeah, I know Ghostbusters 2016. Let's even put that to the side for a second. You know, the new Ghostbusters that they did with some of the original cast and everything, it was fine. I didn't think it was anything special, and I didn't think it was necessary. And then now they're doing another one, moving forward with that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There's some good stuff. There's some bad stuff. Predominantly, though, it's being inserted with identity politics and all that shit. It is. You can't deny it. That's something that I wanted to actually go back and do. Watch the animated Fantastic Four again. It's even older. I'm tired of these narcissistic bullies killing these franchises just for their own egos. Fuck an oath. I'm with you 100% there. And I'm not even a Star Wars Marvel diehard. But you notice these things, right? Despite the fact that you're not a diehard, despite the fact that you don't dive into Star Wars as much as I do, doesn't necessarily, and actually, let me rephrase that. It doesn't make you less of a Star Wars fan. You enjoy what you enjoy out of it, and you're getting what you get out of it. But you can still notice these issues, these problems that they're creating for themselves, right? The insert of the identity politics, the insert of unnecessary characters, whether or not they be male, female, black, white, it doesn't matter. When the character isn't a necessary character, it does so much to the overall story. Fantastic was 60s, was good, yeah. People just need to sort of come up with something new, leave it the way it is. It's a bit like the Avatar: The Last Airbender, right? Is it really necessary to do a live action? I mean, you could say the same thing about One Piece, and I did enjoy that One Piece live action series, season 1 that they did. But I haven't watched the anime either, and I'm not sitting down and watching thousands of episodes. But, you know, was it really necessary for them to do it? Was it necessary for them to do anything really and change it to live action? Can't they just come up with something new, a new concept, a new idea, a new character, a new this, a new that? No, they can't. They've got to feed off the nostalgia of good stuff from the past. Is creativity really truly that dead? Is it? It seems that way. Seems like all they can do is get their hands on old good stuff and change it. And we've been seeing that for a long time now. It's nothing new that I'm telling you guys. It's nothing new that I haven't realized before. But it's now getting to the point where it's like, okay, we've had this many years of you guys doing this, and the results aren't there. The fans aren't there. You got this small minority of new fans for certain franchises, modern audiences. I don't even know what that really means. Don't know what it means. No, it wasn't Rhino. I also think that when you turn an animated property into live action, you take away the personality of the show. You do. I think we've seen it in most of the stuff that's been adapted into live action. It's not necessarily to say that it can't be done and you can't do something like that well, right? But you've got to be respectful. It's kind of like with The Witcher, right? Now, obviously, that's book series, video game, and then you've got these live action series that they came out with. But no wonder Henry Cavill left, you know, not being respectful to the source material and stuff like that. For what? These new audiences? It's kind of like I said and I've said this with Star Wars a lot. Star Wars from late 1970s, you know, started culminating a fan base. The fan base grew and grew and grew over that time. And then there was a bit of a hiatus. They then released the EU. It culminates in, you know, fans getting more of their beloved universe, their beloved franchise, more stories that actually are good, well told in the Star Wars galaxy. Gives you great descriptions on how things work and why things are happening and all of that sort of stuff. The character development of different characters throughout those books, really fucking good. Then you get the prequels, culminates into like not new fans, so to speak, but fans that maybe the next generation of fans. And this is the other thing too, is it you know, things like Star Wars and the fan bases and stuff like that are generational. That sort of gets passed down, not all the time, but it does get passed down to the kids. Then they grow up, they start to begin to love it and, you know, collect or whatever. Want more stories. But now what they're doing is there's nothing wrong with continually telling the story, but the story that they're continuing to tell doesn't line up with the story that's been told already. So all the fans that they've culminate are now sitting there going, oh shit, this links to the sequels. They're the ones that are like the original fans. They're starting to get more and more apathetic towards the Disney stuff that's coming out, but they're getting this small minority of shippers and pronouns and this and that because why? Because that's what they're pushing in these shows. Why do you think Omega is so important to the story? Why do you think Ahsoka is so important to the story? Why do you think Grogu is so important to the story? Reva. Why was she so important to a story that she didn't fit in? Mon Mothma. All of these characters that they're fucking, you know, even Andor. At least he's not a white straight male. Anyway, let's wrap up the poll. Let me just bring this up. And then I'll go over here and have a look and see how we're going on the votes. All right, we got 28 votes in there. Can we get a couple more? Maybe. So that's number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Get your votes in, guys, and we'll do what we normally do here. What can we play? We need some new fucking clips, I tell you. By the time I find something, it'll be done. Oh, let's get Greg's reaction to Book of Boba Fett. What'd you think? Laughing again. What was the funniest part for you?
The cybernetics building by far. Oh, God.
How bad was it? The best. All right, let me end the poll here. All right. So, in last place with 14% of the vote was number 2. Oh, the shipper. Sorry, happy Valentine's Day. You came last. In second last place with 25% of the vote was number 1, Tech Lives, May, Tech Lives, with his or her take on, oh, hang on, do we know? They take on these two characters being in the top 5 of the best characters in Star Wars. In second place with 28% of the vote was Jacob, with his take on this being his favorite duel in all of Star Wars. And the winner of this week's Seal of the Week, congratulations, Jenna. I think you've won a couple now this year so far. And what if I said it's possible to love all 3 trilogies as well as Legends? Hint, it is. Star Wars is amazing. Congratulations, Jenna. You win this week's Seal of the Week.
I'm all the Jedi.
All right. That's pretty much it. I actually thought that we could probably go a little bit longer than that, but we got through everything pretty well. Pretty well. Let's see, what have we got? Let me just check my Streamlabs real quick. We're good over there. Just checking a couple of things. We're good there. All right, perfect. Well, that's pretty much it. We are done, guys, for another week. Next week, obviously, we'll talk about Bad Batch Episode 4. Just an individual episode. And then the week after, there's another individual episode. And then I think the week after that, we get our first doubleheader. So that'll be interesting to see what that story is that they want to tell in the middle there. Yes, please hit that like button. Thanks, Andrew. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Appreciate the support. Appreciate those super chats. And to all the members, thank you so much for being a member. To the people that come back and rewatch the stream, thank you. Please do smash the like button. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. I was going to say, like, what's my goal for this year? Let's see. We will make a goal. So I'm sitting at just over 5,500 subscribers. What do you reckon's doable? Do you reckon we can get 10? I don't know if I can. That'd be nice. The ultimate goal would be 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. But I'd be happy getting over, let's say, 7,000. That'd be nice. Another 1,500. Hopefully we can put out enough content and actually get there. But that'll be the goal for the year, I reckon, something like that. But yes, thank you, everyone. Appreciate all the support. Appreciate having you here and listen to me ramble on about fucking Star Wars and other shit. That's pretty much it. I'm going to play this, of course. Got to play it one more time on the way out. Let me get my other screen ready. All right, guys, go and watch the Jack Show. It's starting in, I think, about half an hour over on Anna's channel. She is back in town, a married woman, and she's hosting the Jack Show tonight. So go over there. Thanks, guys. We will see you next week.
Fuck, man. It's connecting into the sequels.
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You
it and make her name it gay!
That's a few minutes. Are you kidding? It's right there, gaining.
No, what is it? You have to shoot this. Traveling through hyperspace is like dusting crops, kid. Without precise calculations, we fly too close to a store. They're bounce into a supermarket and then...
Yeah.
Be a hell of a mess.
What's that?
Watch. You're losing the deflector shields. Go strap yourselves in. Be careful on the way out.
Yeah, sure. I'm taking very cautious.
You go away.
We bounced too near a supermarket.
They came bounding over.
Fuck off! Disney! You fucking cunt! In a galaxy far, far away, where passion burns and desire stay. Oh yeah, and waiting out with a heart of fire, and the stars that takes us higher. Oh yeah, lightsaber splash sparks ignite the sky. Reach on, rhino in the stars tonight. Unleash the force where the bodies ignite. Star Wars dreams, fantasies collide. In a cosmic dance where pleasure resides. Oh, 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 oh.
Ah, fuck, man. It's connecting into the sequels.
No, I don't think so, Dr. Copper now. If they send me the link, I'll play it.